Hello, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome today. I'm extremely honored and excited today to have my beloved friend, Summer Bacon, here, going to talk to us today. And it's just a delight to be with you, Summer. It's been quite a challenging time for you these last months.
Yeah.
And I think many people now it's like we got through COVID, but it's sort of not over yet, isn't it? It feels as though we're still, many people going through an awful lot of change. And
Right.
I'm just going to leave the floor open to you, Summer.
Yeah, I think everybody has been challenged to go inside. One of the things Dr. Peebles was saying about that was that during this time, the time of COVID, we had to go inside of ourselves because we couldn't go outside during quarantine and things like that. And it really has, I think, prompted an awful lot of introspection on behalf of people. Doesn't matter what nationality, doesn't matter what walk of life, what financial state they're in or anything else. I have heard from literally like probably hundreds of people who have said to me, I don't even know who I am anymore. And they're just trying to find out who they really are. And it's a time that I think is really beautiful because people are becoming more authentic and they're really showing their true colors, good or bad, or, right or wrong, whatever it might be. But they're actually coming out and speaking their truth more, sometimes not very nicely, but they're showing their true colors and they're finding out who they really are and trying to own themselves more. So I do see some interesting things happening as a result of, this time period. And I think it is a growth period. I think there's going to be a positive outcome, even though it's not very fun for most people that I know. It's not an easy time, for sure.
No. You seem to get through one obstacle, and then there's another one and another one. It's like you've got to learn with these ever-changing circumstances. As soon as you think something's done and it's a deal, it's not, or it's changed, or something's changed.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a heck of a year. I know a lot of people have experienced a lot of loss this year, and I know, and my condolences to you and to all others who are mourning the loss of the beautiful Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty, however you say that. I'm really, I was deeply touched by that myself, and I shed a few tears as well. Just something about the end of an era, and what she represented and her gentleness and her kind spirit. So, but I know a lot of people who have experienced horrible losses this year, most interestingly, because I think a lot of people are choosing to leave the planet. Didn't want to stick around for any more of this stuff and have left unexpectedly, quite unexpectedly in some cases.
Yes.
At very young ages too. And so, my condolences to anybody who's been experienced loss this year. But one of the things that I would love to, I wish I could wave a magic wand and help people really understand how there truly is life after death. We are eternal beings. And this is just a coat that we wear. This is a vessel we live in, but we're eternal. And our loved ones and friends who are on the other side, our pets, they continue on. And we can communicate with them. And the one thing that people don't understand is that this is not something that just, I hear my mom, I hear my dad, they're both on the other side. I have many friends on the other side who speak to me on occasion. And people think I'm just blessed to be able to do that, to hear them. And I am, but it's not something that just happened. It's something that I've really had to work at and develop. It's a skill that you have to develop. You need to want to connect. You need to reach out to them as much as you want them to reach out to you. It's like, if I want to go to lunch with you, I have to call you. And then we have to decide where we're going to meet and what time. And then we do that. And it's really not any different with spirit. And I know people, we understand that they don't have a sense of time, but there is a point of connection. You put that feeler out there and you say, I want to hear you. I want to see you. I want to touch you. and it's this yearning that you have that increases your vibration, and the vibration being love that extends out into the universe, and they're loving you back, and suddenly you have contact. But it takes time to develop that. And you got to get over your fears. You've got to get over your expectations. A lot of people have fear. Well, what if it's not really the person I'm trying to contact? Well, all I can say is you will know beyond a shadow of a doubt if it's your mom or dad or friend or dog or cat communicating with you. You will know it. You'll feel it. You'll know if it's an imposter. It's a sensation that you get in touch with inside of yourself. The beauty of that is, as you develop your relationship with spirit, you're also developing a tremendous relationship with yourself. You're getting very attuned with your little spidey senses, as you call them, and every little thing you can start to really pick up on in life. I mean, it's just incredible how attuned you can become to every little thing. Like, I can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that something is going to happen today because I just had a little flash of it. Because I'm very connected to life, and I'm not afraid of it, and I'm not afraid to let life in. As you develop that, you get aware of yourself, who you are, and you also get really attuned to the life external to you out here, and you know when to change lanes and just in the nick of time to avoid that accident. It's just a sense you get, and you do it. You don't question it. You don't doubt it. You just change the lane. And then you go, whoa, I could have, run into the back of that car. That literally happened to me. I was driving at night many, many years ago, and for long stretches, miles and miles and miles on a cross-country trip. And it was pitch black, and there were no other cars on the road. And I was in this fast lane for some reason for the longest time. And all of a sudden I just hear, change lanes. I'm like, okay, boom. And I changed lanes. Within 2 feet of ramming into the back of a truck that was stopped in the middle of the road, no lights on, and I would have hit it at like 55 miles an hour, and it just went right past me. I went, whoa, as I drove past it, I was like, whoa. So, there's a lot of benefits to developing your abilities. And then life doesn't have to be such a crapshoot, At least you can become attuned to things.
Wow. And we were just talking before today's show, and you were saying that you had a flash of a scorpion, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Well, that was interesting. Lately I've had a lot of clear communication from spirit. I woke up in the morning, and I'm sleeping on the floor. I'm in my dad's house that we inherited, and it's all staged for open houses. And so I'm sleeping on the floor, and I was awakened to this loud voice in my ear that said, "Scorpion." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh," and I was so tired. And I thought, there's no scorpion. I'm just going to go back to sleep. I went back to sleep, and I got up and I was cleaning up, picking up clothes and things off the floor. And there was this probably 4-inch long scorpion fell out on the floor. And I was like, "Oh no." and the funny thing about that is, if it's scary. I've been stung by a scorpion, and it hurts. But at the same time, I'm learning that the scorpions are so beautiful. They're so amazing. And this particular scorpion was like 4 inches long, I think. Biggest scorpion I've ever seen in my life. And it has this beautiful tail that curls up with a stinger on it. And it has these little claws, and it puts its little claws up. And this little scorpion is terrified. It's not trying to attack me. It's not trying to hurt me. It's terrified of me. And so it takes this stance, and it's like, I'm the big bad scorpion, and I'm going to kill you. But inside, I know it's like shaking, in fear. And so I'm getting really attuned even to these little insects. If you look at them very closely, I don't know how many of you do that, but you look into their little eyes, and they will look right back at you. I have a friend who was walking on a trail, and he's a ufologist, Tom Dongo, and he was walking on a trail, and he said he suddenly gets a sense that there's somebody nearby who needs help. and he looks over at this little whatever flower or something, and there's this little praying mantis sitting there looking at him like, I'm so thirsty, please. And so he knew, and he took his water bottle, took a little drop of water and stuck it down. I think, did he have a picture of that? I think he might have. And he's giving this little drop of water to this praying mantis who's holding onto his finger and drinking it. It was the cutest thing. It's so sweet, you know? I mean, everything has life in it. Everything, you know, I think there's a lot more feelings in little insects than we give them credit for. Just, you know, I just see it so much. But this is what happens, I think, when you get so attuned to the world. You start to realize it also maybe makes you more sensitive to others' perspectives too, why people behave the way that they do. And there's so many horrible things that people can do to each other. But we don't know their backstory. We don't know what brought them to that point in their life. And, you know, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we will ever understand about some of the things that happen in our world. So, boy, am I a chatterbox today.
I love it. It's wonderful. That's why you're here. Yes, I mean,
I guess so.
love to hear your perceptions and the way that you are so in tune with life here and and behind the veil. Yeah, you're right. You're in tune with the whole gamut.
You know, I've been thinking about that an awful lot because I have been very fortunate and very blessed in the fact that my whole life has been pretty much about God and spirit. And I've had because this has been my work for 27 years, I have the freedom to really think about these things and work with these things and connect with spirit all the time. Whereas I know for a lot of people, you know, when you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're just trying to get through the day, it's like you forget about spirit and you forget God's there. And it just seems like it's just all this drudgery you got to go through and do to get through the day. Got to make dinner for the kids or whatever. And so I know I've been very blessed to have that, you know, time to develop my skills. But also, I do know that even as a child and even when I did have 9-to-5 jobs, I was still thinking about this stuff all the time. And what I would like to encourage people to do is to really try to make God first. In everything that you do, when something happens, when that scorpion falls out of the clothes that you're picking up off the floor, take a deep breath, try to get rooted in love, find the most loving way to deal with it and move in that direction, because it's going to help you. It's going to make your day better. If you're working in, let's say, retail or something, and you're dealing with a grumpy customer, remember that they have their own backstory. Maybe their mom died. Maybe they stubbed their toe. Maybe they're in an abusive relationship. Maybe they're just not feeling well. Maybe they feel ugly or inadequate. It's really not about you. All of their behaviors towards you are really showing you who they are. And so we can opt to get really irritated by them. We can get really upset. We can get really offended and really have a crappy day as a result of that encounter. Or maybe we can flip it around and say, okay, you look at the person, you say, you know, I love your shirt. What a pretty shirt you have on, you know, or anything that you can do to change the energy of that interaction. I could go on and on about this one because I just see that so often people get into these angry conversations and they want to be heard and they want to be right. And it's like, but the other person is feeling the same way. And I think one of the greatest gifts we can give to them and to ourselves is to acknowledge them and say, okay, well, thank you for sharing your perspective. I appreciate that. It helps me understand more about you. If they want to hear about you, then let them ask. You know, you maybe tried, they don't want to hear it. Don't waste your time. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's
beautiful, Summer.
Oh,
and what I love, I think, so much about the work that you do, obviously, with Dr. Peebles, is, you know, he talks about the respecting of all perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to talk a little more about that and how important that is? Because, of course, I'm seeing that now with people who are giving me, shall we say, some somewhat negative feedback about my video about the Queen,
Yeah.
you know, and all this. And it's like, it's just another perspective, you know, it is what it is, and that's okay. Yeah. So can you perhaps talk to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because, you know, I go on this website called Taste of Home, and I look at these recipes. You can't believe how angry people get because that's not real shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is this, that, and the other. And they will go off like a rocket. They will, it's unbelievable. It's like, guys, it's food. Okay. You know, it's like, it's really okay. It's incredible. But it's like, you know, it is very hard when you feel attacked, you know, by somebody, and somebody's, you know, like the people who were attacking your perspective on Queen Elizabeth. I think it's so sad because I think they miss an opportunity to learn something. It doesn't mean they have to believe anything that you're saying, and it's okay for them to, if they don't like the Queen or something, or they have their perspectives, but they could learn something from you. The other thing that we have the choice of, through our choices and perceptions, we create our reality. So they could choose to not watch your YouTube video, you know. They could choose that.
One way.
You know, if the recipe on Taste of Home has too much sodium in it, you don't have to make it. Guess what? I mean, it's like, you know, that's the thing. I mean, we, through our choices and perceptions of things. I mean, come on, look at the horrific things that some people go through in life. I mean, absolutely horrific. And I've used this as an example in some of my classes. Like, let's say somebody's child dies in a swimming pool and drowns in a swimming pool. And there are incredible people who take that and they turn it into a foundation to teach children how to swim in the world. You know, like, they'll take that situation and they'll turn it into something that is beneficial to the world and healing for their heart. And I think that's so incredible, you know, that we have that choice to do that. Or we can sit and we can also, you know, go deep into mourning and never do anything else in our life except mourn, you know, and not move forward. And I am, because of my belief systems, this is just the way I believe. There's so much more that meets the eye. Some of the horrific things that happen. I'm a true believer in past lives. I am a true believer in karma. I don't think we have to experience karma. I think it's by choice that we want to maybe work some things out, and you know, feel better about certain things that we've done maybe in a past life, and we want to work that out in this lifetime by being with that same person and being a nicer person to them, or whatever it might be, to make things right, make things feel better. Like we would do in a given day. If I offended you, I would call you later and say, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. You know, I love you, and we make it right. So that's just kind of working out that little bit of something that happened between us. And I think that we have that opportunity. And I think that a lot of the things that happen that we do not understand why they're happening is because there is some sort of backstory there. I think Dr. Peebles said something like Putin, Zelensky was Putin's son in a past life. So they're working out some kind of karma. Now, what does that have to do with all these other people who are involved and hurt by this? I don't know. I don't know what their backstories are, but there is some reason for it on some level, because we are intended to grow. We are intended to grow into greater love. That is where we're going, whether we want to or not. We can fight it. We can resist it. We can choose not to do that for centuries, lifetime after lifetime. But eventually, at some point, we're going to surrender and say, oh, it's all about love.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nothing else matters. People think, what is my purpose in life? And they hear that a lot. What is my purpose in life? Well, my purpose was not to be a trance medium. My purpose was to come here and learn how to be the most loving person I can be. Whether I do that as a trance medium or as a doctor or as a mom or, you know, whatever it might be. It's just something I'm doing in the interim while I'm learning how to love. That's what I believe, truly, wholly, and completely.
Beautiful, Summer. That's beautiful. Really. Yeah.
I wanted
Oh,
to acknowledge that there was somebody on here on the chat, that Laurel, I think her name was Laurel, and she had said something about insects rock. I thought that was so sweet.
yes. Yes.
Insects rock.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yes.
I must do a shout out to my friend Henri. Bonjour, Henri. I hope you are watching, because he said he was going to, and he said, you better mention my name at least 15 times. So I just thought I'd do a little shout out.
That's nice. That's really nice. I'd like to give a shout out for Radhika, who's wonderful in the moderator here. She moderates the chat and she's brilliant. Thank you, Radhika.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, Laurel Ann here is sharing that she lost her youngest child to AIDS,
Oh, dear.
Jacob, in 1992. And he was a light to everybody, and she's not lost her connection to him.
Good.
It's, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and a lot of times, when you're thinking of someone, a dearly departed loved one, like let's say you're just lost in thought with them, about them, I understand that they are also thinking about you. So if you catch yourself in that moment where you're lost in thought with them, then say out loud. I always talk out loud and say, oh, hi, Mom, or whoever your child is that you lost, or whoever it might be. But talk to them and say, hi, thank you for being here. Acknowledge them so that they know that they are getting through. They don't know necessarily that they're getting through until you actually tell them. If you call me and I pick up the phone and I don't say hello, you'd be like, anybody there?
Yeah, it's true.
Got to make the effort. You really do. I mean, gosh, we have wonderful relationships, with spouses and children and friends and family and all this stuff. And it takes a lot of effort to keep those going. Can you imagine if you're trying to develop a relationship with God, with the invisible? That's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of faith and a lot of trust. But when you get it, there's no turning back. It's so much fun to have that knowing that spirit is real. And that we are eternal beings. If we could just get that driven through our little brains and really understand it, we wouldn't be lauding death over each other.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't matter. We'd be like, yeah, whatever, okay. I'll just reincarnate.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. And it's I thought it was interesting, Yogananda, who says that don't say that somebody has died. That's very final. Say he's left his body. He's just left his body. Yeah. But the soul, as you say, is eternal.
Yep.
And we sort of have death pigeonholed as like a finality in a way, and that person's gone forever. It's not true.
Yeah. Well, and you think about the fact that we are ingrained with certain ideas about life from the day we're born. I mean, we're being taught about death pretty much, all throughout our lives, by being told, we've got to avoid death. I mean, so many people spend their life avoiding death by going to doctors and worrying about every bite of food that they take and all this stuff. And I see a lot of people who are extremely miserable in their lives because they're worried about death all the time. And it's so sad. And so we've got this ingrained in us that we die and that's it. There may be nothing afterwards, or you got to live your life in a particular way, or else you're going to go to hell. All kinds of things that we're told that we live and abide by, just because somebody told us. Where's the rule book? I'm waiting to see that. It's like it's inside of us. That's where it is. It's in our heart. What feels right to you? How does it work in your life? No matter what it is, if it's a religion that you believe in, or God that you believe in, or whatever, if it works for you, it feels right, and if it's rooted in love, I really believe you got it. It doesn't matter. You can call it what it is. A rose by any other name is the same, right?
Beautiful. Yes. You speak so eloquently, and you're such a wonderful writer as well, Summer. I'd just like to encourage people to sign up for your newsletter, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, summerbacon.com. And also, if in these times, more than ever, we need upliftment. And if you want some upliftment, may I highly recommend that you go to Summer's website and get a few of her MP3s. They're only $10, 10 US dollars. And it's an hour or more of just upliftment and soothing. And it's so much needed at this time. Yes, summerbacon.com.
Thank you so much, Bracha. Thank you so much. It's such an honor always to be here. And since we're talking, thank you for the Oracle deck that you sent to me. And those are so magnificent, guys, with her beautiful paintings on them and wonderful words from the Pleiadians. So I'm gonna highly recommend that you order your Oracle deck before they're sold out before Christmas.
Thank you. Well, just to let you know, this was the card I picked before speaking with you today, and the same one has just come up now. So here we go. I'm not sure how we can.
You are a miracle magnet. Yes.
A miracle magnet. So
all miracle magnets, you guys. That's awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And you are. You just have to believe that is true.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a miracle that you got here, the sperm and the egg. You were fighting with all those other sperms, and you made that. That's quite an achievement.
That's right. That's right. And maybe you were, I've heard that there's sometimes when a woman is pregnant, there's a lineup of spirits that want to come through. So they're actually kind of fighting, and while the baby body's being created. And sometimes that's why it changes from like male to female or female to male. They say, oh, I thought I was going to have a girl. It showed it on the ultrasound, and then no, they have a boy, because it actually things can change along the way, depending on who's coming through. But it's really, I mean, all of that stuff is just it's so much fun when you think in those terms. It makes everything so much more fun to think about. And there's also something I think about a lot, which is that, life isn't just one size fits all. And, you and I look different. Bracha, we may have some similarities, but we look different. We have different facial expressions maybe, or ways of expressing ourselves, just like everybody in the chat room and in the world. We all have different personalities. At the core, we're all looking to love and be loved, really, is what we're ultimately doing here. That's where we have similarities. We all feel pain. We all feel sadness, but one size doesn't necessarily fit all. It's like when people get so irate about, the salt content of a recipe. Well, I'm one of those people that I need salt. I have such low blood pressure. I actually need to eat salt, because and some people say, well, you shouldn't be drinking milk or something like that. It's like, but I can digest milk. It's okay. But people try to project and say, well, because I have to be gluten-free, the whole world should be gluten-free. Gluten is the bad guy. And it's like, no. If you want to be gluten-free and you feel good with that, fits you and it's great. Shouldn't drink because it'll keep you awake. Well, guess what? Hyperactive people drink coffee because it can calm them down. If they have it at a particular time of the day, it actually calms them down. My daughter drinks coffee at night because it puts her to sleep. So, it's just crazy to think that it's all a big cookie cutter thing. And would we want it that way? How boring would that be? That person over there is too fat. That one's too thin. Oh, come on, stop it already. Let people be who they are and celebrate that beauty. I mean, I know some people who are gloriously large and beautiful, and they walk in the room and there is a light that goes on that somebody walks in who's all fit and whatever, buff and everything, walks into the room and I'm not feeling it. I mean, it's the light that's coming from the inside. That's what really matters, I think. So.
Exactly, because the externals are always changing. It just does.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop the wrinkles. You can try for a while if you wish, if you want to put your energy into that. Mm-hmm. But actually, as you say, it's what's emanating from your frequency.
Yes, very much so. And it's really interesting that you say that, because I'm 62 years old, and I've been feeling real pretty kind of creaky. I've had a lot of injuries in my life and stuff, and so and it's like, oh, and I'm just like, I inside I feel like I'm 17 years old, right? I'm still like a valley girl, and like and but I suddenly realized just recently in the last few months, I'm feeling a little creaky because I'm 62 years old, and I'm like, I guess I'm getting older. And all of a sudden, and people will be like, oh no, you're 62 years young. And I'm like, no, excuse me, I'm actually 62 years old. and I'm feeling it. But the more that I'm accepting and embracing of that, the better I'm feeling. Because I think by believing that I shouldn't feel this way, and I shouldn't feel like an old lady or something like that, I'm resisting the natural movement of my life and the growth of my body in the way that it needs to be now. And so that was what was causing all of the angst and the inflammation and all of that. And just by changing my mind and accepting myself as I am here and now, it's like some of the stuff is dropping away. I'm like, what?
Yes. And it's all in the mind. Yes, I was
Energetics, yep.
a yogi speaking about his teacher, and he'd been to the dentist, and the dentist said, well, look, he's probably going to have a lot of pain in the night, so give him this pill if he's in pain. So he thought, well, this is my guru. There's no way he's going to feel pain. In the middle of the night, the guru shouts, pain, terrible pain. So he comes into his guru, he says, really? So he gives him this pill. And then the guru says, listen, it's all in the mind. He said, if I don't think about the pain, I'm okay again. But the minute the mind gets onto it, it's agony. So it's where you're focusing the mental energy.
Right, exactly. If you stub your toe, Dr. Peebles has explained that, and it hurts. We know what that feels like. It hurts. If you stub your toe, and if you can become the pain, then you will not feel it. And it really works. If you literally, instead of resisting it, ow, this hurt, it hurts, it's like, go into it, become it. Let it be there. And all of a sudden you won't feel it, because pain is not feeling pain. If you become the pain, you don't feel the pain. It's really cool. It's just fun stuff you can do. You don't have to master it overnight or something like that. But these are things you can always think about, and just a different way of living life, a different way of approaching just even a stubbed toe.
It's beautiful. And we're so much more unlimited than we realize. Yeah. I think that, as you say, we've had all this conditioning and all these things, and you think yourself into a corner. And I keep having to think myself out of the corners. Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Very much so. Yeah. I've seen. I've had physical encounters with extraterrestrials. I have seen UFOs, like extraordinary experiences of seeing UFOs. And some people say, well, why are you able to see them and I can't? And I think it has, again, to do with energetics and such. It has to do with where your frequency is at. For one thing, I'm not afraid of extraterrestrials, and I'm not afraid of UFOs. So I wasn't crazy about them when I did have the encounters. They were kind of annoying, but I look for them too. I'm open to that. And so if you're open to it, it does allow them to make the contact that much easier. There is a certain resistance that people have. I'd like to see an alien, but they want the alien to do all the work to come to them, but because they're afraid. So they're putting up an energetic blockade in front of them that prevents them from seeing the alien or the ghost, or the spirit of a family member or whatever it might be. But if you're open to it, and curious, it's like that wide-eyed childlike wonderment, then it makes it a lot easier for them to make contact. So, yeah.
Stoyan's asking, would you share one of your UFO experiences?
Oh my goodness, I got a million of them. Well, there's actually a whole chapter in my autobiography about that.
Yes, it's a wonderful autobiography. Please, have you got it near? Can you show it?
No, I don't. I have nothing here.
The ceilings and the title?
Yeah, the title is The Cellars and Ceilings of Summer. Yeah.
Highly recommended. Yes, it was a story.
I woke up one night and I was on my stomach and I had to get up to go potty. And so I was getting up out of bed and I was like, gosh, I must really be tired because I could barely lift myself up. And I felt something and I looked over I thought maybe my cat was on my back, you know. I look over my shoulder and there's this, I think it was a gray, I guess is what you would call it. And it had these big black eyes, stark white skin. And the skin was like if you've ever felt a wetsuit, it was almost like it was that, like a wetsuit. It was so weird. And it was on top of me. It was shorter than me. And it was looking at me. I call it a he. I don't know if it was a he, but, and I was like, what the? And I pushed up as hard as I could. And I just started screaming, you have no permission to be here. And he went off my back, rolled out and rolled through the window of all things, you know, the window that was closed. And I sat up and I was like, what the heck? What did I just see? And I'm sitting there like this with my head in my hands. And then I look up and there's another one. And he's standing over by my kitchen holding this lighthouse lamp that I had. And he's looking at it like, oh, I wonder what this is. And he was very curious about it, looking at it. And I was so angry. I said, you have no permission to be here. Get out, get out, get out. And he just kind of blinked out. That's how I got to know Tom Dongo, who's the ufologist friend of mine, because a friend introduced me to him and I told him this story. And he said, and I said, I just don't, am I crazy? He goes, no, not at all. He said, it's a very common story. And I said, well, how could this alien go through the window? And he said, because they're not from our atmosphere. Their makeup physical makeup is different. And that's why they can, they blink out or whatever. They're from another dimension. They come in here. But that was just one of the things that happened. I had so many where Tom and I were standing outside of my condo one night. I went outside to get something from my car, and I see this huge ship. I mean, it was huge. It's so beautiful. Colors all around the edges of it. And it wasn't far away, maybe a quarter of a mile, if that. And it was down by the airport mesa. There's a mesa that's flat where the airport is. And then the ship was just hovering right here over all the houses. It was just there making no noise. I said, hey, Tom, I said, come here. He looks at me and goes, oh yeah, look at that. Yep, that's a UFO. I said, yep. We stood there drinking champagne, looking at it. Isn't that something? And then I go in to pour us another glass. I come back out. It's gone. He goes, yeah, it just left. And I said, oh. And later on I said, Tom, why didn't we get our cell phones and take pictures? He goes, I know. He said, that happens a lot. I said, you think they put something like they block you from doing that? He said, yeah. And I was like, because it didn't even dawn on me. It was so beautiful just to watch it. It was so exquisite.
Wow.
Yeah.
How wonderful.
It was fun. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for being here. I'm kind of trying to read the chat. I'm not very good at this multitasking part.
You're being so that you could listen to Summer and her stories all night, says Judy.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
But you bring such a beautiful energy and such a beautiful frequency here, Summer. It's really a joy to be with you. You really bring that essence of God's love.
Oh,
really
God.
do.
Thank you. So do you. I mean, gosh, that's awfully nice of you to say. I love talking because I'm a Gemini. So I love to share stories.
And you're a great writer. I highly recommend Summer's book. Her autobiography is absolutely fantastic. So,
thanks. It took only 30 years to write.
Brilliant. But you did it. You did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling Dr. Peebles around. Do you want to say hi?
Anybody love to say hi, only if it feels right for you, Summer.
Yes, and somebody on the chat just asked if I'm in Sedona. Yes, I am in Sedona, Arizona. Yes, yes. And then to all my Gemini friends on there too. I see everybody. I'm a Gemini. Okay,
You can find the book at summerbacon.com. It's Summer's website. You'll find it there. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you can get it on Amazon too. It's free on my website as a PDF. You can download it there for free if you want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You can also make a donation as well. I might add. You can also make a donation if you get some, you know.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Okay, well, he's kind of here. So if anybody wants to say hi to Dr. Peebles, I'm going to go ahead and go into trance. God bless you, Dr. Peebles. Here it is a joy and a blessing when man and spirit join together in search of the greater truths and awareness. God bless you indeed, my dear friends, as you strive to understand your right to receive and to give abundance in this your chosen lifetime. We would like to offer to you the following principles to be used as tools in tandem. Number one, loving allowance for all things to be in their own time and place, starting for yourselves. God bless you indeed. Number two, increase communication with all of life and with respect. God bless you indeed. Number three, self-responsibility for your life is a creative adventure, for through your choices and perceptions, you do indeed create your own reality. God bless you indeed, my dear friends. Goodness gracious, you are here to give and to receive the abundance of love that you are here to journey into, my dear friends. It's a journey to the heart, a journey of expansion, a journey of wonder. In everything that you do, my dear friends, seek love in all of it. Even those times where you feel downhearted, look for love, for that is where you are headed anyway. And no matter what, my dear friends, that is the end of the journey and the beginning, all at the very same time. It never goes away. So when you are feeling suddenly, my dear friends, downhearted, when you are feeling frustrated, when you don't know what direction to go into love and ask yourself, what about this moment here can I find that is love? What is it in my heart in this moment here where nothing is happening in my life? Is there love? And suddenly, my dear friends, you will hear and you will feel and you will see things beyond your wildest dreams and imaginations, because you won't be trying to control everything so much. You will be allowing life in. You will be allowing for the answers to come in. You will be allowing for God's love to speak to your heart. You will suddenly see the world in a very different fashion. You will suddenly realize that what you are struggling against when nothing is happening is you're struggling against nothing happening. Why not surrender into it? That would be the more loving way to go through it, my dear friends. Nothing's happening right now. Look at that. That's my life. Nothing is happening. Let's see where it takes me, because it's going to take me deeper and deeper into love, always and forevermore. So you, my dear friends, you always have an opportunity for growth. No matter what it is you are doing, when you think life is stagnant, you can do anything, my dear friends. You can go out and smell a flower. Find something, some way in which you can engage with life in a loving fashion. When you think there is nothing going on, there is always opportunity around you, because there's many opportunities in your world in a given moment, as there are stars within the heavens. And we can assure you there are lots and lots more stars than you could ever dream or imagine possible. God bless you indeed. You indeed, each one of you, a sparkle of light as well. You indeed bringing your light to the world through your kindness, through your sensitivity, through your awarenesses, through your willingness to hear, your willingness to touch, to give hugs, to allow for yourself to be heard and felt by the world as well, by giving of your authentic self, speaking your truth if you know it, and letting it jostle whom it may. God bless you indeed, without worrying about whether or not people get you. They don't have to. Do you get you? Do you understand? You, my dear friends, that's the important thing for you to come to be aware of in this lifetime. And God bless you indeed, my dear Bracha. You are a beautiful spirit. We love you so very much. My goodness gracious, the changes you have been through, yeah? And yet you're still here, still standing, still smiling, and still loving as ever. God bless you indeed. Would you have any questions there for yours truly here today, yeah?
Well, Diane is asking, Dr. Peebles, thank you so much for what you have just shared. Beautiful, beautiful. Diane is asking here, could Dr. Peebles give some tips on increasing my intuition?
Yeah, increasing intuition. Well, certainly it's there all the time. It's just you got to pay attention. That's it. And it's really just being aware of when you feel something in yourself, instead of trying to figure it out, you say, okay, here it is. I'm feeling something in my elbow. Why am I feeling something in my elbow? I didn't feel just 2 seconds before, a little pain, a little tug or something like that. And you say, well, let's see here. Maybe it's not mine. And you suddenly get a sense that it's your mommy. You call your mommy up and you say, hello, mommy, are you doing all right today? No, I just banged my elbow on the door. And you say, wow, I felt that myself, you see. And so that's part of intuition. Intuition is a lot of this sort of letting life in, allowing life to speak to you, and allowing yourself to hear it, learning the language of the heart, in other words, because that is, my dear friends, just a matter of developing sensitivity towards these things that you think don't really matter. All these little things that come into your life, little thoughts that you might hear. Maybe it's not you talking. Maybe it's your guide speaking to you. Say, hello, who is that? I don't understand what that sentence was all about or why I heard this. And you develop a relationship there with spirits. And you subsequently develop a relationship within yourself, because now you're more attuned to how you are picking up the world around you, if you will, the energetics of life around you. God bless you indeed. So you let life in more and more and more, and then one day you wake up and your intuition is right intact without having to even work at it anymore. You just have a knowing inside of how to proceed throughout your day. You have a knowing when you meet somebody who's smiling at you and trying to get you to come with them and do things with them, and you get a sense inside of yourself, yeah, but it doesn't feel right. And you don't have to know why anymore. You just trust what you have inside of yourself, and you discover it wouldn't have been a good thing for you to go down that pathway with that individual. God bless you indeed. You trust yourself. You start to realize and develop a sensitivity towards you, knowing that you always have the answers there inside of yourself. You don't have to seek so hard. You just trust in this given moment. What is that gut feeling that you have about something? Trust it. Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to justify it or anything else. Just trust it and move with it and see what happens next. And that's how you learn. God bless you indeed. Of course, if you hear things that are not very nice, go jump off a cliff and you say, well, I'm going to trust it. No, my dear friends, trust that does not necessarily feel like love, does it? You want to make certain that the things that you are feeling really you get sensitized to when you say, aha, this feels right. It feels loving. It feels like it is a correct action here to take in this given moment, you understand? So you discern, if you will, about all sorts of things that come to you. God bless you indeed. And it just takes practice, practice, practice. God bless you indeed, yeah? You're beautiful, beautiful spirits, students of the divine, and we love you so very much. If you could only understand how much we love you and how much we would love to have you fall into the embrace that we have to offer to you, you would find yourselves, my dear friends, really waking up in the morning rested. You would wake up understanding that life is eternal, and you wouldn't be so afraid of everything anymore. God bless you indeed. And you would look at life not as challenging, but as exciting, an adventure. Let's see what's going to happen today. It's not going to be the same as yesterday. It's going to be something else happening here. And you will find that your life, instead of being round and round, you go like a circle. It turns into a beautiful spiral, and you feel yourself being weaving yourself into the fabric of eternity. Isn't that fabulous? God bless you indeed. Thank you so very much for a lovely question, and dear Bracha. And is there anything further? Yes?
Oh, yes. If you have the time, that would be wonderful, please, Dr. Peebles. Thank you for that beautiful answer.
God bless you.
Esmat Mora is asking, should I stop worrying what's going on in the world, Dr. Peebles?
Absolutely, my dear. You're a beautiful spirit. What a beautiful spirit. This individual's, goodness gracious, you worry so much because you love so much. That's why you're worrying all the time, because you love everybody. You just want everybody to be happy. You want to wipe every chin and give everybody milk and cookies and give them a little hug and kiss. Let them have a nice little nap. You want everybody to feel good. Absolutely. So your worrying is coming from tremendous sensitivity, tremendous love. We thank you so very much for that. That is so very beautiful. But no, you don't have to worry about the world. You can pray for the world. You can certainly, if somebody comes to you and needs help and assistance, by all means, help and assist if you can. And but you don't have to worry about everybody else's situation. Love them, certainly, because they are part of your family. But if you're not happy, if it's not happening directly in front of you, it's something you're seeing on television and that sort of thing, you can pray for them, but don't worry, because that's gonna deplete your life force. And we need everybody to have their life force as full as possible. You got to have your cup full up so that it can runneth over to others. So truly, my dear friends, keep yourself steady in a beautiful, steadfast place of love and enjoy your life. It's okay to have joy and happiness and peace and such. and abundance of all sorts when others are feeling downtrodden. There's nothing wrong with you feeling good. It's okay. The world needs that. It needs that life, you see, that beautiful life force that you are experiencing. So allow for yourself to have a full cup and let it runneth over to others, and enjoy the journey to the heart. God bless you indeed. And does that help, my dear? And is there anything further before we allow this dear channel to return? Yeah?
Oh, thank you. Maybe just one question. Would that be all right, Dr.
Absolutely,
Peebles?
yes, my dear. Yes, absolutely, yes.
Radhika is asking, Dr. Peebles, I speak in a light language that I do not understand. What do I do?
Yeah, well, that's all right. You're not supposed to understand it. That's why it's pure. And it just comes through as a healing energy, very much as when human beings are speaking in tongues and such. It's an energy that you're allowing to come through. Allow for it, my dear. Don't try to fight it, and don't try to figure it out or interpret it. If you want to, you can ask in certain situations. For example, you can say, all right, I keep hearing the same phrase over and over again when I'm speaking in light language. And you can stop and pause and say, all right, I would like to get a sense of what that's about. So you do it again, allow for that same, whatever it might be, language to come through. Same, we can't really say it's a sentence, it's a form of energy that comes through. Be attuned to how you feel as it's coming through. You might find as you are speaking in light language that, for example, suddenly you feel very sad while it's coming through. Well, what you're doing is really processing sadness of the world, healing it and such. So you're allowing for it to pass through you. God bless you indeed. So it's a form of channeling energy and allowing it to pass through you and come out your mouth. And it's so beautiful. It's very wonderful and very healing for you too. You can let it really help to charge you up for the day. God bless you indeed. If you're feeling not very well, go ahead and just let the light language come through and do its service for you, my dear. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to experience, and it's really rather simple once you allow for yourself and your mouth to get going. It's a rhythmic sort of sensation. God bless you indeed, shall we say? And it is similar to channeling as the trance medium here. Summer Bacon is allowing for me to use her body to speak. And just surrendering to the sensations and the movement and the rhythm, because really what we're doing here is not really, it has nothing really to do with the words that we speak. We're pushing energy around. You feel it while we speak. You might feel one way and then be pushed into another direction, feel another way. It's all energetic exchanges going on here. God bless you indeed. You're beautiful spirits. My goodness gracious, we see quite a lineup of beautiful spirits who love you so very much, my dear Bracha, and are also sending loves and messages and such of love to yours truly here and to Summer Bacon as well. What a wonderful group it is, yeah? You're all collectively creating a tremendous energy for the planet Earth just here in this given moment by being so loving and so caring and so curious about life. It's fun to be curious about life. Get more curious. Yeah, God bless you indeed. That's our sincere message for the day. And my dear Bracha, if there is nothing further, we shall allow the dear channel to return. Is that all right with you?
Oh, yes, that's wonderful. Thank you so, so much.
You're very, very well. God bless you. It is a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to be honored to be here through Summer Bacon. God bless you indeed. We love you all so very much. You're beautiful spirits, students of the divine. Don't ever forget it, my dear friends. It's a journey to the heart of expansion, of wonder. And go your way in peace, love, and harmony, for life is indeed a joy. And all you have to do as you enjoy the journey to your own heart and certainly to your own enlightenment is simply lighten up just a little bit more. God bless you indeed. Oh, wow. Hi.
Wow.
Like I was all turned around.
You were.
How was it? Did it go okay? Was it good?
Fantastic. It was just, soul touching. You touched all the souls here. Yeah, everybody.
Oh, I'm so glad. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for generously channeling for us, Summer. That's
my pleasure. I haven't been doing it as much this year, and when I do, it's nice. It's kind of like remembering a part of myself that, so I thank you for the opportunity to do it. And I hope
you for your generous heart. Really, thank you for your generous heart, Summer. I'm just so grateful that you've taken the time to be with us here today. Yeah, you're greatly loved, greatly appreciated. Do check out Summer's website, summerbacon.com. She's got these wonderful MP3s where people ask. Recently, she did a Q&A with Dr. Peebles, and there's some, wonderful information there, and it's very uplifting. So really, I encourage you to do that. And
yeah, there were some really good questions on that one. That was really, really rather interesting. And he said something, like from our previous conversation about this being just a coat that we're wearing, the coat of the human form. And my assistant, Bev Scott, called me yesterday, and she's laughing. She said, I just was transcribing the question answer, and Dr. Peebles said, that you are a spirit in a body, and someday you will drop that coat of the human form, and you can do because the question was, should we be cremated or buried, after we die? And he was saying, basically, it doesn't really matter. It's just, what do you want? And he said, you can, it's the coat of your human form. You can drop it on the floor, throw it in the hamper, or hang it on the wall.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I want to say hello to Bev. I love you, Bev.
Hi, Bev.
I don't know if she's watching, but love you.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah. And Blair is here saying, I purchased Summer's $10 MP3s to be able to share some of Dr. Peebles on live radio for the last couple of years.
Yes, he has done that many, many times. It's funny. I know Blair, and he told me, like, the first time he talked to Dr. Peebles said to him, and he was skeptical when he came to the session. He said Dr. Peebles said to him, you will be on the radio in front of millions of people. And he told me later, he goes, he said, everything else he said made sense except for that. But literally 2 weeks later, or I think a week later, I might be wrong, Blair, if I'm telling the story wrong, I apologize, but it was something like that. And he was suddenly on Coast to Coast radio with Art Bell and in front of millions of people. And he has gotten on almost every time he calls in, which is just incredible. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Sam. I don't know if there's any last thing you want to say, but you were so wonderful. Thank you for channeling and for everything you've shared. It's been rich and fascinating and fun.
Thank you so much. I just appreciate being here. It's just so much fun. I enjoy this so much, and I really appreciate the opportunity. You have such a wonderful, wonderful audience, and I love you dearly. I love you dearly. Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you, Summer. Thank you, Radhika. You did a terrific job in the chat. And thank you for everybody for your contributions, because the comments have been really beautiful and your energy has been beautiful. And we feel that helps to co-create something really beautiful together. So
yes, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
My heart, Summer. I love you dearly.
Thank you. I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.